Hello, everyone. Today is October 23rd, 2020. Welcome to the Package Group Weekly Retrospective. Steve, you have the first item under what went not so well.
So this week I overassigned myself and ended up with a little bit too high of a workload, and I ended up dropping one of the bugs that I had picked up and started investigating. And another thing that went not so well is it looks like the only way to allow the dependency proxy to work for private groups and projects is to force public groups and projects to also authenticate when using the dependency proxy. Over to João.
Thank you, Steve. So for me, I haven't felt super great this week. So focusing was more difficult than my normal level of inability to focus, if that makes sense. And then also, so with the 17th end of the milestone falling over a weekend, I totally missed reprioritizing a couple of deliverables, which affected our reprioritized say-do ratio. So I shared that in our OKR, the track the say-do ratio, and I'll link to that if anybody's interested. So just wanted to call that out. David, over to you.
Yes, so this week the cleanup policies limit summer got delayed by a discussion on the main loop. So the loop is really simple, is get all the policies that need to be executed and loop on them so that we enqueue jobs to execute them, to actually execute them. And this loop used a SQL query that did not have a good performance. We tried to improve the situation, but yeah, it's not doable in an optimal way. So we will need to tackle this issue as a follow-up. Over to João.
So now that the revised schema for the registry has been reviewed and approved by the database team, we started working on the implementation of the changes. But because the database scheme is it's so much low level and broad, it's very difficult to keep the MRs simple and small. So the development and review is not going to be a lot of fun until Hayley.
Sick for most of this week, and out sick for most of this week, so did not get a lot done. On to Steve with what went well.
I made good progress on the dependency proxy for private groups this week. The start of this milestone, I've started working on just a few larger issues rather than picking up a handful of smaller ones, like I think I did in the last one or two milestones. And that's been a nice change to my daily workflow, which is just less to-dos and less context hopping. I've also enjoyed that as I continue through the diversity, inclusion, and belonging training, I've identified some of my own unconscious bias and apathy, and I like that this improves me not just in a professional setting. Over to David.
So again, on the cleanup policies limit somehow, it just got approved by the database maintainer. So I think we are just one click on the merge button away from getting merged, and that's good. Also, around the cleanup policies, we identified last week several issues around it. One of them was this main loop was selecting too many policies, and we had a way to optimize it to select fewer policies. This fix has been merged this week, and it's on production. And as you can see on the Kibana chart I linked on the agenda, we can see a quite good duration reduction. So meaning that the worker takes less time to loop on all the policies. Also, this time around, I worked on a security fix last week, and there has been a few confusions around which versions the backport needs to target. And this time around, I was not confused. I was was really clear which versions I needed to create, and I went through without confusion. So yeah, over to João.
We have completed, at least we hope so, the online garbage collection specification, and we have put it under review by the database team. On to Hayley.
Yeah, so this is my anniversary week. I've been here for a year, and it's just cool to think about where I was then as far as familiarity with the container registry and where garbage collection was to where we are now. I think we're in a, it's pretty cool. It's been a lot of stuff has happened. And back to John.
Thank you very much, Hayley. Oh, awesome. Jackhammer right on cue. Thanks, everybody. Does anybody have anything they want to chat through before we stop the recording? No? Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. We will see you all next week.